The power resides in our mind, not in external events. This realization empowers us to navigate a world where emotions can seem like turbulent waves. We can find our anchor by learning to apply the 7 lessons of Stoicism, which will be the key to mastering our emotions and navigating the storms of life wisely and unwaveringly. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to enjoy this video and help me spread the philosophy of Stoicism. If you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any inspirational content. And as always, be a virtuous person, have courage, and watch the video to the end. Our 7 lessons in Stoicism will help you gain the strength and wisdom to overcome life's challenges. Get ready for a fascinating journey into the world of Stoic philosophy, where you will learn how to keep a calm mind in the most unpredictable situations. Lesson number 1: control. Of course, I have seen many people caught in the storm of life, faced with unexpected events, disappointments, or sudden changes. And in such moments, Stoic philosophy offers us a safe haven through the concept of the dichotomy of control. Let's take an example. You are planning an outdoor event, but suddenly it starts to rain. You can't control the weather, but you can control your reaction to it. You can regret and get upset, or you can adapt and see the rain as a refreshing change. According to the Stoic Epictetus, some things are under our control and some are not. This simple truth allows us to change our lives by realizing that while we can influence some aspects, many things are beyond our control. The Stoics believed that our well-being does not depend on external events, but on how we interpret and react to them. Let's look at another example. Perhaps not getting the job you want initially seems like a disaster or rain, but over time you begin to see it as a hidden blessing leading to personal growth or better opportunities. How can we put this principle into practice? Simply ask yourself the question, can I control this? If the answer is yes, act. If not, it becomes an opportunity to practice acceptance and adaptability. Understanding this principle frees us from unnecessary and agonizing worries, allowing us to move through life in peace. We know that we cannot control the wind, but we can adjust our sails. In a chaotic world, the dichotomy of control provides clarity, directing our energies where it really matters. So, let's apply these principles of Stoicism to our lives and learn to be flexible and wise during the storms of life. After all, the power is in our minds, and we can find the inner anchor that will help us remain steadfast in the face of any storms. Lesson number 2: thought analysis. In today's fast-tempo digital world where immediacy is valued, the art of reflection can sometimes seem outdated. However, it is this very act of pausing and reflecting that anchors us in a world that demands instant answers. We are faced with many decisions every day, both big and small, from choosing food to choosing a career path. When we receive a communication that triggers an emotional response, such as a coworker questioning our work or a random comment from a friend triggering negativity, our first reaction may be defensiveness or anger. But what if instead of reacting instantly, we took a step back and gave ourselves some time to reflect on the situation? Reflection is not a passive process. It is an active engagement with our thoughts and feelings. Reflection allows us to ask ourselves questions. Why did this happen? Why am I reacting so strongly to this? What beliefs or past experiences are influencing my emotions? Is my immediate reaction a reflection of the current situation, or a manifestation of past experiences? Reflection promotes empathy by allowing us to view a situation from different perspectives. Perhaps a colleague was having a stressful day, or a friend didn't realize the weight of their words in the relationship. This practice is the foundation for understanding, clarity, compassion, and connection. In a professional setting, the ability to stop and reflect is an invaluable quality in leaders. Those who choose to reflect before making a decision are usually highly respected and are considered thoughtful and effective. Their decisions are born out of deep reflection. In a world that is constantly in motion and accelerating. Lesson number 3: don't get attached. In this era of information overload, even in a world full of emotional roller coasters, practicing detachment plays a huge role. It doesn't suppress our emotions, but but helps us develop a balanced perspective that allows us to observe events, situations, and emotions without allowing them to overwhelm us. Detachment offers the ability to spread love in a world overloaded with information and helps us with relationships and conflict. Imagine you are watching an exciting movie. You are totally immersed in it, feeling tension, excitement, sadness, but always aware that it is just a movie. You don't rush to intervene, you just observe. That is the essence of the practice of detachment. It means being deeply involved in life, feeling your emotions, but knowing when to sit in the theater of your mind and just observe without drowning in the drama. This approach to life is vital in our era of information overload. Reacting passionately to every little bit of information only drains us. Detachment helps create a buffer that allows us to engage with the world in a more sustainable way. It also plays a key role in heated relationships, for conversations and arguments. Practicing detachment can be the difference between a productive discussion and a damaging argument. It allows us to listen effectively, respond rather than just react, and navigate calmly with understanding and grace. Nurturing detachment begins with self-awareness, regular reflection, recognizing emotional impulses and understanding our reactionary patterns. By creating space between stimulus and response, we gain the freedom to choose our reactions and act with intention, rather than being influenced by momentary impulses. Detachment enhances our lives, bringing us joy and fulfillment without becoming overly attached to outcomes. We can fully immerse ourselves in the journey of life, savoring each moment without the constant fear of loss or change. Detachment becomes our compass in an ever-changing world, guiding us with grace through the diverse realms of life. By adhering to this practice, we enrich our lives and bring calm and clarity to the lives of those around us. We become able to listen and understand others, and respond to situations with grace and compassion. The practice of detachment helps us develop deep self-awareness and mindfulness, allowing us to make informed decisions and build deep connections with others. In our fast-tempo digital world, where immediacy and instant answers are valued, reflection and the practice of detachment become an act of resistance. They allow us to remain independent from the influence of mass media and develop a deep understanding of ourselves and others. Reflection helps us to see the reasons for our emotional reactions and to consider the situation from different perspectives, avoiding misunderstandings and conflict. As a result, practicing detachment and reflection become indispensable qualities for leaders in professional settings. They enable us to make informed decisions based on in-depth analysis, build effective communication, and successfully solve problems. In an age of information overload, and practicing detachment plays an important role in helping us develop a balanced perspective, observing events and emotions without allowing them to overwhelm us. Therefore, it is important to recognize and appreciate the importance of detachment practice in our lives. It helps us to better understand ourselves and others, make informed decisions, and build deep connections. Practicing detachment allows us to maintain our independence and integrity in a fast-tempo world where information is constantly making noise and clutter. It helps us find inner peace and harmony, and be more effective and happy in our daily lives. Lesson number 4. Think ahead. Life is indeed filled with moments that test our patience, resilience, and perspective. Sometimes we feel like even the smallest inconvenience or trouble can consume our attention and energy. But when we ask ourselves the question, will it matter in 5 years? We bring clarity and perspective to our situation. This question acts as a mental time machine, allowing us to look back at the present moment. Suddenly, what seemed like a huge problem or loss takes on a completely different meaning. We realize that most of our current concerns and problems will eventually lose their significance. We can think back to the problems we had 5 years ago and wonder how many of them still carry weight today. This way of looking at life helps us prioritize and distinguish short-term setbacks from long-term consequences. We realize that many problems that seem overwhelming now can be replaced with new experiences, knowledge, and memories. This question helps us focus on what really matters in our lives. Thinking ahead and asking ourselves this question also helps us increase our resilience. We hold a broader vision and reduce anxiety instead of getting stuck in current difficulties. We strategize and adapt as we move forward. We realize that clarity in decisions comes from this perspective. In addition, by asking ourselves what matters in 5 years and 5 years soon, we focus on what really matters in our lives. We invest in relationships, personal growth, and experiences that will have lasting results. This helps us build a more sustainable and meaningful life based on our values and long-term goals. So, asking ourselves the question of significance 5 years from now gives us the opportunity to assess things from a broader perspective. We realize that most of our current problems will be just a remnant memory in our lives. This helps us make decisions, build more sustainable relationships, and stay the course, even in the face of temporary difficulties. When we ask ourselves the question of significance 5 years from now, we challenge ourselves to focus on what really matters long-term. We realize that many daily challenges and conflicts can be overcome and forgotten over time. We stop wasting our energy on trivialities and start investing in things that will give us resilience and happiness in the future. This question also helps us distinguish between short-term setbacks and long-term consequences. We realize that some problems that seem huge now may just be temporary difficulties that will resolve over time. We stop letting small setbacks define our mood and self-esteem, and start looking at our long-term goals and striving towards them. Investing in relationships, personal growth, and experiences that will stand the test of time becomes key. We realize that the quality of our relationships and our personal growth are of long-term importance. We focus more on developing skills, strengthening connections with the people who really matter to us, and building conscious and deep connections that will bring us joy and support in the future as a result. Asking ourselves what matters 5 years from now gives us the opportunity to rethink our current concerns and priorities. We realize that most of our worries will be just a story in our lives. This helps us make informed decisions to build sustainable relationships and move forward with confidence and purpose. Lesson number 5, look for opportunities in everything. Sure, instead of seeing problems as burdens, we can change our approach and see them as opportunities for growth and development. This approach is echoed in Stoic philosophy, where the teaching that we can't always control events, but we can control our reaction to them plays a key role. When we change our perception of problems and begin to see them as valuable lessons, we discover new opportunities. Obstacles that stand in our way can lead to unexpected outcomes and open doors we could not have foreseen. For example, losing a job can be an impetus to develop new skills and open up new career opportunities. Failed relationships can help us understand ourselves better, lead to personal growth and deep and meaningful connections in the future. This approach also contributes to our resilience. When we begin to see challenges as opportunities, we become more prepared and adaptable to adversity. Instead of drowning in ourselves and asking the questions, why is this happening to me? We begin to ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? And how can this help me become a better person? This doesn't mean we should look for problems or ignore real challenges, but it is an understanding that in every challenge and obstacle, there is potential and opportunity for growth. It is important to cultivate this understanding and approach problems with a positive outlook, patience, and perseverance. Like a river that finds a detour around a rock or destroys it over time, we can overcome obstacles and use them to our advantage. Each challenge becomes a step toward wisdom and growth, if we are willing to accept the challenge and learn valuable lessons from it. Thus, by changing our attitude towards problems and seeing them as opportunities, we become more resilient, ready for change and able to overcome challenges. We open new horizons and find the strength and resources to overcome any obstacle. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for our personal growth and development. It is important to note that overcoming challenges requires our active participation and a conscious approach. We must be willing to step out of our comfort zone, look at the situation from different angles, and look for creative solutions. Sometimes this may require changing our thinking or taking risks, but it is steps like these that help us grow and develop. It is also important to be able to learn from our failures and mistakes. When we recognize the reasons that led to a problem, we can avoid them in the future and make more informed decisions. Our failures become valuable lessons that help us become stronger and wiser. So, instead of seeing problems as a heavy burden, let's start seeing them as opportunities for growth. Let's be willing to change, overcome challenges, and use each problem as a chance to become better. Remember that hidden in every problem is the potential for growth and success. With a positive outlook, perseverance, and flexibility, we can overcome any obstacle and reach heights we could never dream of before. Lesson number 6, keeping a Stoic diary. Writing in a diary was a practice that existed in many cultures and eras. It went beyond simply recording events, but served as a tool for self-reflection, growth, and clarity. The Stoics, with their emphasis on self-awareness and personal development, also practiced diary keeping. For them, it was not just a description of what was happening, but a place to reflect and dialogue with themselves. They analyzed their emotions, decisions, and reactions. The diary was a meeting point between the outer world and the inner world, where events were illuminated by personal values and beliefs. Imagine ending your day by recounting not only what happened, but also how you reacted to certain comments that upset you. What caused a burst of joy during a routine task? In this way, we begin to understand the intricacies of our psychology. We see the mechanisms that influence our moods, the values that drive our decisions, and the habits that shape our days. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept a diary known as the Meditations. For him, it was not a public document, but a personal dialogue, a space where he guided himself and reminded himself of Stoic principles. We can see him as a man struggling with his responsibilities, his emotions, and his place in the universe. But you don't have to be an emperor to benefit from a Stoic diary. In our modern lives, full of distractions and a constant stream of information, taking time for introspection becomes even more important. Keeping a journal becomes a grounding ritual, bringing clarity in the midst of chaos. Over time, this practice can lead to profound realizations. You may notice that certain situations repeatedly cause you stress, and this will allow you to cope better or change your perspective. You may find that certain practices, such as gratitude or mindfulness, increase your mood and perspective. The patterns that emerge become a kind of map for our personal growth. In addition, Stoic journaling promotes accountability. Through daily reflection, we become accountable for our reactions and decisions. It is harder to ignore repeated mistakes or errors in our judgment. Instead, we learn to adapt and grow. Practicing Stoic journaling helps us become more aware and self-aware. We become more attentive to our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. This allows us to better understand ourselves and our reactions to the world around us. When we write about our emotional reactions, we can expand our emotional literacy and develop our capacity for emotional regulation. We can discover the tendencies and triggers that cause us to feel stressed or happy. This allows us to make more informed decisions and manage our emotions more effectively. Stoic journaling becomes a place where we can explore our values, beliefs, and habits. We can ask ourselves questions about what is really important to us and what values we want to adhere to. We can recognize which habits and actions align with our values and which violate them. This helps us build a more meaningful and coherent life. Ultimately, the Stoic journal becomes a powerful tool for self-development and self-improvement. It helps us develop a deeper understanding of ourselves, better manage our emotions, and make informed decisions consistent with our values. It allows us to grow and develop as individuals, overcome challenges, and live a more meaningful life. I hope you found these lessons from the Stoics enlightening and valuable. Please post a comment, it's important to me. And that way, I'll know you've watched to the end. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.